Hi, my name is Jeff Phillips, and this presentation is about SVSi. SVSi is the creator and originator of video over a converged network, and that's why it's important. I've got 5 big reasons why SVSi is still a very, very good consideration for network video, and a few small ones too. First is the history, the legacy, and the lineage of SVSi. Yes, SVSi created video over a converged network, but did you know that SVI started by making ultra high-speed digital cameras for the military? That's a pretty taxing and very involved thing that they were doing, and it creates a lot of data, and that data needs to be secure. It's being pumped around a whole very, very secure network on a military base. So in fact, the SVSi engineers were engaged by the IEEE to write some of the security standards currently enjoyed by the entire data industry with respect to video over network. Now, it started with the gizmos for the military, but then pretty soon SVSi realized that just the transport itself was really, really valuable to a lot of customers, and they came up with this thing called Volante. Now, Volante was able to ingest a 2K video stream and put it out over a network, and it's with that product that they helped they progressed through the N2000, N3000 audio codecs like the N4321. They just kept making this whole thing better and better and better and better. Now, I want you to notice that along the way, the competitors were nothing but crickets. It was really quiet. There was nothing going on from the competitors. There were no competitors to SVSi until at least 10 years after they started, which means that now we're on the 4th, 5th generation of SVSi product while the competitors are just starting. They came out with things like network video recorders and windowing processors to work with the ecosystem that is network video from SVSi. And then in 2015, AMX acquires them and pumps their resources into things like wall plate encoders that a lot of the competition still doesn't have to this date. Wall plate encoders are important. And you know, time marches on. You've got the introduction of 4K over a 1 gigabit connection in 2017. And you also have the introduction of the competitors. Competitors finally enter the market, and who do they take aim at? The market leader, SVSi. And then the following year, 2018, we see the emergence of the SDVoE alliance. More on that in a second. First, I want to tell you, here's a BS alert. There is no such thing as zero latency. A lot of the new players in the market said, oh, look at us, we've got zero latency. That's BS. There's no such thing. You guys are engineers. I'm an engineer. We know that. The closest you can get, at least within a 1 gigabit framework, is the N2400. It's 18 milliseconds to encode and decode a 4K 60 full color picture. Now, if you want to engage the scaling, you're going to incur another 16 milliseconds. That's just full disclosure stuff. And just for reference, at 30 hertz, one frame is 33 1/3 milliseconds. So is it zero latency? Never. Now, back to the competition. In 2018, the SDVoE Alliance came out. They're all different manufacturers of network video solutions that require a 10 gigabit chipset. A chipset that's going to take 10 gigabits to get a 4K signal around the building. I don't know about you, but I have not yet ever found anyone who was able to say, sure, yeah, 10 gigabits per endpoint, bring it on. No, they don't. That's why all of the solutions within the scope of SVSi are a 1 gigabit connection. Nothing takes more than a gigabit. All right, so now I want you to look at CloudWorks there, This is something I can't talk about in this video a whole lot. Just keep your eyes open for CloudWorks, because exciting things are going to happen within the Harman Pro family, and especially with SVSi in the next year. It's going to make your life better, it's going to make it easier, and it's going to save you a whole lot of money. Meanwhile, here's something that I'm glad to say will be continued, and that's the Enable software. Now, this software is available for Macintosh or for PC. It helps you look at all of your devices, get them all set up, all addressed the way they need to be. It also acts as a rudimentary video switch, audio switch. You can matrix the audio, by the way, separately from the video, as you might expect out of a digital network-based video system. Now, you can also drill into each device and start fine-tuning all the parameters. And this is where you would get into things like Enact. Enact is a control structure that's embedded within the SVSi encoders and decoders that lets specific things happen when different events happen. And the decoder can't find its encoder. Okay, so it pops up a screen or a slideshow to tell you that, hey, I can't find my screen. Now, that's apparent to the tech. It's not necessarily apparent to the client. But the important thing is you don't get a blank screen, because if there's anything that irritates our mutual clients more than anything else, it's having a blank screen. So there are niceties built into the SVSi ecosystem of products for network video that you will only begin to enjoy once you actually get into deploy your first system. More on that in a second. So now I do want to point out, one size does not fit all. That's why there are 5 solutions within the SVSi family. 3 of them have to do with 2K, and it's always a trade-off, right? Do you want low latency or do you want low bandwidth? You have the choice. You chose the very high-performing N1000 system. It's going to eat up a lot of bandwidth, but man, it's quick, and the switching is flawless. You get into the 2000 system, and it's oh, by the way, compatible all the way back to the original Volante products with that one. It's a great solution if you need some sort of middle of the road thing. If you need to go all the way to H.264 compression, well, that takes some time, and so the latency is long, but the bandwidth is very small. You choose what it's going to be, but I guarantee you that none of these 3 solutions is going to be more than a gigabit per encoded video signal. Same thing with 4K, nothing more than a gigabit, okay? Now, and you have trade-offs. The N2300 is going to have higher latency but lower bandwidth. Reverse that for the 2400 and get deeper color depth and 60 hertz performance. It's up to you. You have 5 different families within SVSi to choose from depending on your client's needs. And that's a really nice thing to know, because not always, in fact, almost hardly ever, does one size fit all. Okay, moving on. Number 4, the SVSi's control language. Very simple, plain English, readable, and just about every control system has modules to control SVSi. So don't be afraid of controlling SVSi from whatever your customer's existing control system is. Of course, its native netlinks, if you want to use an AMX control system, will help you with that. But just don't be afraid of controlling SVSi from anybody's control system, okay? In fact, there's a very simple, portable, and free control system called Panel Builder that SVSi came into AMX along with, and it's a system where you can do some very, very nice stuff that's all HTML5 based. You know, for instance, you could scan a QR code like this one off in the corner of the room, and now whatever device you're bringing to the table is in control of that room, and you can hit cross points, control levels, everything. Right from your own handheld device. Okay, last, and probably to a lot of you the most important thing is that we have the deepest support bench out there. It starts with sound marketing. Now, a lot of you watching are our sound marketing customers, and we're, as you know, we love getting in the trenches with you, and whether it's in design or procurement or it's in commissioning, we're there to help you make sure that you can stand up a sound system, a video system, network video system, and make sure that it's not going to take forever to do it. It's not going to eat up your profitability. So sound marketing's there for you. Behind us is the Harman Pro Tech Support Group. Behind them is an entirely different group of SVSi people who are the brain trust of the engineers behind this product line. And so there's a lot of depth of the bench there for you to rely on. Now, if that weren't enough, there are things like there's a lot to this enable automation and act automation that we can talk to you about. There's security. Who else has it? Who else has 802.1x compliance, SSL, TLS, LDAP certificates? Who else has Active Directory support? It's really hard to find in other competitors. So, but yet SVSi is the one who wrote a lot of those standards. So there you go. And you won't be alone if you choose SVSi, because there are over 200,000 endpoints installed to date, dating back to the Volante days to the present. We've got about 200,000 endpoints successfully working for folks and moving their video around a converged network. Okay, so that's kind of the overview. I don't know about you, but I'm going to feel a lot more comfortable if I'm doing network video going with the people who created it than any of the newcomers who are still stumbling through their first generation. And that's why I like SVSi. Thank you for listening. I hope to see you soon.